What specifically were you losing your temper for?
Oh, it's got nothing to do with Man United. It was the refereeing. I watch a lot of football, and I mean, look, I know we're here to talk about Man United, but I thought the goal that was disallowed, I'm just confused, like a lot of United fans and a lot of football fans, as to I've seen multiple of those challenges given over the last 3 months, and now we're changing it again. It started with James Trafford for Burnley just after Christmas. And then this weekend, they've decided you can't go up for a 50-50 with a goalkeeper again. So, yeah, that was that. That was just general football. Man United. I actually expected last night, Jeff and Ali, I expected it. I expected us to lose. I'm somewhat surprised. I'd like to walk down the path less trodden with the manager and not sack the manager. But I'm not surprised by the amount of people ringing up saying do it. I could see that result coming a mile off last night.
Mark, I was going to ask you, sorry, Jeff, I'm with you, by the way, on the goal. I get that, but I mean, that's a kind of small issue in the bigger picture. Looking at it, I mean, the fact that you've said that, and I said to Jeff earlier on this morning, the back of 6-7 o'clock, I actually expected Crystal Palace to win that game last. That's the worrying thing where United are at this moment in time, Mark.
Yeah, and look, I said last night, I respect any United fan who wants to make a change of manager. It's not a massive leap when you look at the results to do that. But when I look at that game last night, I expected that loss. And I would say to those United fans that want to sack Ten Hag, why does that Palace result last night make you jump, oh, let's sack him now? It was absolutely inevitable. You've got Casemiro, who's basically retired. You've got Johnny Evans, who wasn't fit. Mason Mount's not really fit. Christian Eriksen has basically retired. God knows what the goalkeeper was doing. I mean, I watched Bromley play Solihull Moors at Wembley on Sunday. Both those teams, I reckon, beat United last night because they've actually got a system and they play a standard of football that suits them. Those players last night, I mean, every one of those goals were shocking. And look, I might be in the minority, I might be in the majority, but for me, there's a lot of players. I was listening earlier on about players that if we had a cup final tomorrow, I guarantee they'd be fit, but they didn't fancy last night. And I heard what you said, Ali, about how this is the worst it's been. Unfortunately, I disagree. And I think a lot of United fans might agree. I think 2 years ago, exactly the same thing happened with Rangnick, where injuries just appeared and players looked like they didn't care. It happened in the last few weeks of Solskjaer. The similarity is this happens at the end, and it's always the players. Crystal Palace deserve a lot of credit. They were better than us last night, but the capitulation, disgusting. The club should be refunding the fans for last night. It was that bad.
So look, I mean, Erik Ten Hag carries the can at the moment, but is on a broader base. Should the finger be pointed at those who've been responsible for some of the recruitment over the years? Because there are players clearly they've brought in who might have ability, but clearly do not have the right attitude.
Yeah, I think that obviously Manchester United are looking at people like Michael Olise, and you can see that he would be a very welcome addition to United. We had no Bruno Fernandes last night, which meant, you know, he's had a lot of criticism, but the leadership that he brings to the team. There's a lot of young lads who were lost on the pitch last night, and there's a lot of overpaid players who shouldn't be wearing a Man United shirt. And I think that when you look at the changes Ineos are trying to make, what they cannot do is what everybody else has done and just replace the manager and try and get a tune out of this collection of players that clearly year after year capitulate and give up. So recruitment's massive. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, there's many others. They've absolutely mugged us off over the years. I mean, you look at Casemiro last night. I thought he was brilliant last season. This year, terrible. Real Madrid would have known that was coming. They knew with Varane that he was injury prone. Bayern Munich knew with Schweinsteiger that his days were done. And it's just horrific recruitment. And to be going to Crystal Palace as Manchester United, but going as a huge underdog, really does show where we are as a football club. And everybody phoning in saying sack the manager, we've been there, we've done that. It's a far bigger problem than that.
Yeah. Mark, just finally, how many years do you think it's going to be before Manchester United are back as a real force challenging for the Premier League title on what you've seen recently?
Well, first of all, you've got to hope that Ineos and Sir Jim Radcliffe actually get things right. If they get everything right in relation to manager and recruitment and infrastructure, I'd still say, because Man City exist and Arsenal exist, at least 4 to 5 years. But if Ineos aren't the promised land, 10 years, like we're a long way off. We're a long way off.
Decade of disappointment. Mark, thanks very much indeed, mate.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, thank you.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.